we did so many vignettes with him and Jenna Jameson, and Vince left so many of them on the cutting room floor because he thought Jenna Jameson was ugly.
Let's talk about the Lucha Brothers. Pentagon and Fenix are likely signing with WWE. How familiar are you with the Lucha Brothers, Vince, and how do you think WWE?
I mean, I saw them over at AEW for a while. Bro, they're going to be another tag team. Well, I mean, what are they going to do with them? They're going to be another 50-50 tag team with all the other 50-50 tag teams.
How do you think they bring them in NXT or main roster?
Oh, those guys have been around for a while, haven't they? I couldn't imagine them bringing them through NXT.
Really? You don't think so?
I mean, bro, don't they need star power in that tag team division? I mean, when I say WWE tag teams, who do you think of immediately right now?
I would say Otis and Gable, but I don't think they're a tag team anymore.
I don't either. New Day are on their way out. I mean,
Whoop Whoop.
Whoop Whoop, Grayson, and the other guy.
Yeah, in theory, yeah. Man, the Good Brothers just signed with WWE, and what a flop they've done with them, man. Yeah. So they're in the main roster, then they go in NXT, then they go back in the main roster. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, when you're bringing in these people from AEW, like a tag team, for instance, they haven't really done much in the tag team division with really either side. Why does a tag team like the Lucha Brothers want to go to the WWE just to not really be showcased the way that they should? EC3, what do you think about that? Because if you think about it, the tag team division is very poorly showcased. Is it just that I made it mentality that I came to the WWE? Is that the reason why they would be excited to sign?
Yeah, I think that would be one thing. And if you've done something for a long time and you seek a new challenge, like it is a new challenge for them to go to the WWE. It's a whole different audience, different scheduling, different presentation, so it probably has that intrigue. Money's probably really good. The fact a marketing machine, because they're both take wrestling away, they're both charismatic individuals with unique looks and outfits and gear and presentation. So immediately they look cool as action figures. They look cool to kids, so a new challenge, new frontiers. And then I do think Vince is right, though. It'll probably just fall into a 50-50 kind of thing because that's how the booking structure tends to be, unfortunately. And what it takes really is probably somebody to step up and stand out, as opposed to just being able to do what they're really good at, which they're really good at what they do. What can propel them to the next level to make them the cornerstone of the tag team division? It's an answer I don't have, but something that the greats will find, and everyone else will be 50-50 and make good money and make the towns and then live and die by it. It's kind of it's kind of like no matter what you do, this is the old mentality. I think morale has improved greatly, but nothing matters. So we can get great reactions and nothing matters because it's just week to week to week to week the same thing. But no, you won last week, so now you got to lose this week, and you won, and they got to win. They got to get their win back, and I don't know, the foresight and the lack of focus on a long term to build to culminating moments that mean something, I think, which is very hard when you have 15 hours a week of original content you got to put out and only so many limited pieces.
You think you know all the wrestling stories? There's more you haven't heard yet. Join us on Backstage Pass.
Vince, based on what you've seen with the Lucha Brothers so far, would that be a team that you would push, or would you just have them in and just having good matches?
They definitely stand out. I'm just begging them, Chris, please, man, just take somebody and give them 6 to 8 weeks of vignettes before you ever see them. Let's just see what happens. And that's what I would do with these guys, man. Make them really, really special before they get there. I just wish, man, they would go back to that exercise with somebody. Let's just see if that still works.
It does. It 100% does. And then weeks and weeks after that of get over matches. They don't have to be 50-50. They don't need to be 2 segments. Like, they can be somewhat competitive, but a new team that we've invested in that had all these cool like vignettes to debut them roll us through a few, jobber squads just to showcase the cool stuff that they do, establish their finish. Then they meet a real challenge, and then you're off to the races and telling stories. It's not hard.
I remember the last time that I can vividly remember them doing that was successfully, at least, was Alberto Del Rio. And he had weeks and weeks and weeks of vignettes that were just pre-tapes, like a Razor Ramon type of deal. And, man, I remember finally his debut. He comes out, with that very expensive, car, limo, I think it was. He comes out, shuts the limo door, has the shawl type of thing. He just looked like an aristocrat because he was booked for weeks to look like somebody special and somebody big. And because of that, he was such a good heel. He kept winning. People wanted to see him lose. Then he won the Royal Rumble. He just kept winning. And I think that's when they had Christian beat him at WrestleMania, because it was supposed to be Edge. And Edge ended up retiring, and then Christian beat him.
Wrestled Edge at WrestleMania.
Yeah, it was the opener, I believe, and Edge beat him, and then Edge vacated. I think it was like on a Raw or something like that. And then the next pay-per-view, I think it was a ladder match between Christian and Del Rio, and then Christian won. And so they just kind of jacked that up. Within a year or so, but before that, though, Adam won the World Championship. He won the WWE Championship. He won Money in the Bank and cashed it in, I believe. Wasn't a SummerSlam, right? It was CM Punk and John Cena, and then Kevin Nash power bombed. Was it powerbomb Punk? Yeah, and then Del Rio came in. So yeah, it was. They did a really good job with that, making them feel bigger. And so, based on what y'all remember, what were some vignettes that y'all remember that were successfully done?
Well, you definitely hit the nail on the head, because we just proved the point that vignettes work, because he immediately came in, perceived as a top guy, began working with top guys, and he got a push, but he was built up, and then I think they made him a star in less than 6 months to a year. Yep. I'm going to point out Angle vignettes always stood out to me. Obviously, the most perfect ones. I think The Fiend and Bray Wyatt, when he made that run with those vignettes, definitely made him seem special. Relaunch him.
Yeah. You remember any events?
Oh, Val, bro. Val
Venis.
The night he came out for the first time, bro, that's the biggest pop I ever heard anybody get in a debut, but far and away the biggest pop.
Nice. That's really cool.
Yeah.
How was he how many weeks? It was pretty long.
Oh God, probably at least 6, I'd say.
Yeah. I was surprised that he came in as a babyface, right?
I guess, yeah. I mean,
because that's because it was close to that when they did the Kai and Tai, right? Choppy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Very nice.
It was. They didn't cut it off. Remember? Good writing.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, they had the machete and. And then it went faded to black after the choppy. Yeah, that's interesting, man. But Val Venis is a pretty good. We ended up winning the Intercontinental Championship, didn't he?
Oh yeah, he had a good run, but it was the same thing, man. Because I'm watching, the Attitude Era now when he started and everything, and he went over every match, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the same thing, man. That you that's how you get him over.
How was Vince's take? What was his view on Val Venis during that time?
Oh no, I mean Vince. Vince thought it was hysterical, but I'll tell you. I think I told you this story, Chris. But bro, we did so many vignettes with him and Jenna Jameson, and Vince left so many of them on the cutting room floor because he thought Jenna Jameson was ugly. Okay, bro. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah. Okay. Unzoomed.
Yeah, that's a really good so yeah, for EC3. Oh, we're leaving them out, man. Yeah, we're 7-star club. 7-star club. Yes, indeed. Fans, let us know what vignettes do you remember? We talked about Alberto Del Rio, Kurt Angle. We talked about
Razor was good too. Razor was good.
Razor was really
Razor was good.
Yes. Every week, I think DiBiase's were pretty good too.
Yeah.
Especially when he would do the segments on the podium when he would bounce the ball and then kick it at the last one. Man, it was great.
Mr. Perfect was good too.
Oh yeah, especially he would throw the basketball,
whatever he did. Yeah,
hole in one, perfect. Yeah, it was great, man.
He threw a football to himself. You can't beat
Yes, he did. He threw
Yeah.
a football to himself. Absolutely.
Who was the football? Is it Warren Moon who was in the vignette? Where he went,
Oh man, it might have been.
awesome. What happened?
Yeah, man. Fans, let us know what vignettes you remember that stood out to you as some of your favorites of people that they did for several weeks that actually worked. Actually worked.
Ethan Carter III had vignettes.
Yeah, and
Remember,
TNA.
I came in and I demanded tigers for my vignettes, and then when I showed up, I had a big Great Dane because we couldn't afford a tiger. That was the
Yeah,
joke.
and you
I was gonna-
the trouble on the Titan, and you looked at it, and didn't you do the whole gimmick of the EC3 thing when it would come out? Yeah. What was the Dixie? Who came up with that? Who came up with the whole spending a lot of time doing the vignettes and having the big entrance and things like that?
I believe it was John.
Ah, very nice. What did he see in you? What did he see in you that pulled you from NXT into making you a top star in TNA?
That I'm awesome. I'm like, at the
Well,
time,
duh. But what did he see in particular?
charismatic, talented. I think as big of a disaster as that NXT game show thing came to be, like the ability I had to stand out and have charisma, and the people that know they're just toying with us and messing with us, and the ability to kind of stick it back. But mostly it was like to somebody I stood out, like Vince Russo, but John to Dave, and if he just had the right opportunity, I think he would be a star. And I've seen that in a lot of people I'm pushing too. Like if he just has the opportunity, he can be a star. So having the belief, really, then it comes to having confidence. There's people behind you, because in WWE, rarely do you feel that, where I'm going to have an opportunity no matter what. Like if one thing doesn't go perfectly right, it's not going to be pulled immediately, and then we're on eggshells to get fired immediately, which was the big difference. And when you have that confidence that somebody's behind you, that's really all it takes to fully let yourself go and envelop in the role.
Did they already have that role ready and you fit in, or did they bring you in?
I believe it was a perfect match, because it was an idea in its infancy to my availability to I'm the right guy for it. Where if it went to anybody else, I'm not saying it wouldn't have been successful, but it would have been a totally different thing. Somebody else's interpretation of it. Like if Johnny Curtis was EC3 instead, it would have been a totally different thing, but he would have made it work. Very few else would have.
Why do you think it would have been totally different?
We're just different people, and we'd see it in a different way. Actually, we're very similar, so it would probably be very similar. But it's really, you had the freedom to kind of like feel the role. And then at that time when I had the confidence, which was the biggest thing, because that's what they stripped from you back in the day at FCW and NXT, is like, it's like the military. They're going to break you down and make you into a drone and a stooge. Like when that confidence came, like, this is what I want to do. This is what I can excel at. And I was able to feel it, which I think is important. I wasn't playing a part. I was feeling who I am as this part, if that makes sense.
Vince, could we see EC3 in Rocky Mountain Pro? So.
Oh, yeah, I hope, man. I'd love to, man. Yeah, you know, EC3 travels the world. Maybe after Uganda, he comes to Denver, bro.
That'd be
There you
cool.
go. Wonderful.
I'm actually going to be in Denver in September.
I know you are. Yes.
I'm going to spend the night.
Maybe we can see.
Dawn.
Maybe we can see an appearance in Rocky Mountain Pro.
Yeah.
With the EC3, bro.
I don't put anybody over, just saying that.
There you go. There you go. He already has parameters, Vince. He's not going to put anybody over, man. So
I'll do a DQ, okay?
there you go. We got EC3. We got Vince Russo. I'm Dr. Chris. This is the Wrestling Outlaws. Have a good night, everybody. Guns out, funds out. Yes, indeed. So hello.